Howdy, people of the internet. It is Mighty Fine, back for your weekly analysis for the week of February 6th through the 11th, the first full trading week of February. And we're going to dive right into it this week. US dollar, Aussie dollar, US dollar, GU, GJ, EU, and I threw in gold as well, just to mix it up a little bit. GJ and gold, for the most part, are kind of just a wait pair right now, wait on setup kind of thing here. But I do think that we're going to see some good action this week, hopefully. And yeah, before we get into it, like this video so it can spread, other people can get some free help, because there's a lot of bullshit out there, and I'm trying to help other people get through that. Subscribe if you don't already. That's it. So start with the US dollar. This one, I have some notes up on each pair for you to just recap and read as well. I'm looking at the daily and the H4 timeframes. Here's what I'm thinking. So we've got this daily demand level right here. This gave you this last push to the upside. We've seen a little H4 break of flow here. That's this gray box. That's our pullback. If we see a transition to bullish behavior off of this level this week, then we will see an immediate attempt to go higher. If price can break above this current daily supply here, we'll see price expand this overall trend to the upside. And if we look left a little bit, there's some strong supply over here on this chart, the Dow Jones FXCM dollar index. The high end of that is about 12383. Yeah, so looking for long continuations on this. Overall, we are pushing upwards. We have established a new level of structure after this deep pullback and extension to the upside. Two spots that I think it could land. One right here, this area where we see lots of volume coming in, giving us this last big push. Two, the lows, the true trend flow demand all the way down here at my daily higher low level. So breaker bounce scenario one, breaker bounce scenario two. If it goes below both of these, then it's a sell on the dollar for sure all week. But I don't really anticipate that happening. I think the dollar is going to continue to appreciate this week. So we're really just looking for intraday transition to bullish behavior, so we can fade dollar-backed pairs. That's that. So moving on to AUDUSD, again, notes over here for you. Our overall flow is pointing down on our high time frames here. For this one, I'll look at the H4 and give you some details as well. But overall, you can see we do have this big push to the downside. We expanded into new lows of the overall trend, right? Big trend pushing down on the weekly and monthly. Expansion here last week, and then a bit of a retest. What I'm looking for now is a pullback on the H4, something relative to this break of flow and rejection of that daily supply zone. What I was talking about, looking for those shorts last week. Price did reject, did push down. We did get some short opportunities there. However, I think the safer play is a retest relative to this. So I would love to see a retest. Don't know exactly what it's going to look like, but this is the overall idea. Looking for price to essentially stay below this wick right here. Then we want to see if price can break into new lows. So this would be your target area right about here. And pushes below that means the trend is expanding. So looking for a bearish move this week if we get a nice clean pullback and transition to new bearish flow. Pound USD, pretty much the same thing. So going back up to the daily, we can see that we had this big push to the downside here off of our weekly supply that I highlighted for you guys as well. This is our overall daily supply. Price has come back and retested that. Big bearish day here on Friday, NFP Friday. And as we look into the details a little bit here, just close that so you get more of this. As you look into the details, you can see that buyers kind of lost control here. Sellers stepped in a big way. So if we can get a retest relative to this move from about 1.3628 down here, this leg, if we get a retest relative to that, then I think that we're going to see a short opportunity at least into the 1.344 handle, or into this little liquidity pool sitting down here at 1.336. Expansion below that would create a new flow low and bring price down into this trend lower low demand zone. Remember, we are in downside structure on our highest time frames. So a retest of this would probably lean toward an expansion or a swing opportunity below this into a target to the left. That's for you to find out. Overall, we are looking for a pullback. So what might that look like? I'm going to actually bring up the H1 here because I have some minor time frame zones for you, but this is just supply and demand on the H1. If price breaks above this, we're going to come back and retest this daily zone. If price stays below this or expands into new lows, we're going to see this thing just fall off, no retest. It looks something like this on your H1. Okay, so supply, demand here. breaker bounce scenario 1, breaker bounce scenario 2. If we go below that, it's just short all week. I am anticipating a pullback at least into here. We'll see what happens here. I'm waiting for some data, so I'm being patient on this one as we open up the week. I will check back on this as North America opens up tomorrow, Monday. But overall, yeah, looking for a retest similar to Aussie dollar, looking for a strong US dollar this week and a fade against dollar backed pairs. Going into GBPJPY, this one's a little bit ugly. Like I said, I've got some notes for you here. I don't love it. Let's go up to the weekly. What can we see? So we've kind of got this big range, right? Big push up, push down, push up, starting to push down a little bit. We've got a pocket of liquidity up here as well in this weekly supply. Overall, this thing is pointing up since about April 2020. However, it's struggling to break into new highs here. So as we start to look at the details, we can see that we are in bearish flow here on the daily. After this daily break of flow, that major demand that gave us that last push to the upside, price is now retesting an area of strong daily supply. And if we were to see a rejection or transition from this area, I think you could look for shorts. However, it's a long ways away. I would need to see a break of this H4 demand indicated by this little gray idea arrow here, and then a retest relative to after that break of demand. Then I would look for a short position. However, if price moves up to the upside here and breaks past this daily supply, I may look for a retest and continuation up into that higher time frame weekly supply zone because I do tend to lean bullish on GJ, particularly over the past few months, but it's very mixed. So for me right now, much like you'll see on EURUSD, I'm just going to sit on my hands and wait. Need some more data, need some more time, let the market do its thing, read these notes right here. Like I said, it's a bit messy and I need a little bit more data, some break and retest before I try and hunt anything down this week. Euro, US dollar, a bit mixed as well. So as we pull up into the good old daily time frame here, my note says nothing to do for now. Need some more data. We had this big bullish push here, right? Big old bullish push last week, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, multiple. And we just barely cracked this daily lower high zone. I do have this as a level of structure that created this expansion to the downside, major seller level. So if sellers can't hold that level, it's going to tell us a lot. However, they did step in on Friday and it's pretty indecisive. As we start to look at the details here, we can see, again, we do have a break of flow showing bearish intent. Sellers stepped in a big way here, but we're lacking follow through as of right now. So much like GJ, I want to see a break below this H4 demand, then a retest, and I could look to fade it into the 1.13 handle where this last big push came from, or back down into these high time frame trend lows. Remember, we are trending downwards. So if this is an overshoot or a liquidation of this level, and then it starts to sell and create order flow to the downside, I still like shorts on this. And that lines up with our dollar analysis. It lines up and correlates with AU and GU as well. So I think it makes sense. You need more data, be patient, sit on your hands, let the good move set up. Don't try and force this one. Last but not least, we're looking at gold heading up to the daily time frame. You can see that we had this daily break of flow here. This is just sellers showing their hand ultimately, but buyers are now stepping in. Again, pretty weak. I have a weekly demand level here as well for you. But what I think is really important right now is just the current H4 supply and demand. I got nothing to do here for the most part. We have a break or bounce scenario at this H4 supply. If we break below H4 demand, then I think it's going to start pushing down, but I wouldn't take that trade. I would wait for a break below 1780 and then a retest, maybe something like this, right? If it were to happen, you know, a nice break below that area, then the retest, look for a trade in here, and then an extension to the downside. If instead price breaks to the upside and we see this thing go like this, I think there's a lot of room to the upside into this supply area up here. So I like this trade as well. This is one where I just need to wait. So GJ, EU, and gold, we just need to chill. We need a little bit more data so we can make a good practical decision. That's about it for the week. Quick and dirty. Easy, fast, accurate, high time frame price action. If you are interested in learning more about how I do what I do and seeing my full process that I do not show in this weekly analysis series, go to my website. Link is in the bio down below, mightyfinefx.com, or shoot me a message, say what's up on Instagram. I am at mightyfine. Drop a comment down below. Make sure you like and subscribe this video. Until next week, trade safe and have fun.